Good morning, everyone. I'm Prerana Srinivas from Seven Sense. I hope you are doing well. Please ask your friends to join. In the meanwhile, in the next 1 minute, so that we can start the session. Till then, I have a small question for all of you. Can anyone help me with the topics that have been covered for you? At least remembering the topics. What are the things that you have learned over a period of time? I hope the screen is being shared, right? Just a minute, guys. I think, yeah. Good morning, everyone. I hope and please ask your friends to join at the earliest so that we can start with the session. And come back to I have a small question before starting this particular session. What do you understand by optimism or being optimistic? What it might be, anyone could help me with that. What is your understanding? If what you would have heard this term, right? Optimism. What it might be, if anyone, if any of your elder brothers or sisters and come up and ask you what is optimism or what is being optimistic, how do you give an answer to the particular question? What is optimism or what is being before that, can anyone help me with what you can say, the topics that are being covered for you, at least the topics. I'm not asking you whether you have implemented that, whether you have worked on that, and whether you have gained something from that over a period of time. I'm not saying all those things, just like could at least any four or five. Anyone? Before getting into this particular topic. Hope I'm audible, right? Like anything, any other topic, just the name or the soft skill that you have learned over a period of time. I want just the names. I'm not asking you precisely what is if you take up initiation. I'm not asking you in that in a particular initiation have you taken up any initiations till now, or not as like that. If you have learned that over a period of time, at least just remember the topic's name. This was initiation was one topic that was covered for you. It was covered I understand that it has been a longer time, but at least you should be capable of remembering what you have learned, at least the topics, right? Anyone could at least give a try. I had given an hint already, initiation is the one thing. Any others who could help me with any other topics? Guys, it's such a difficult task. Okay, at least what I can say, the previous week topic, or what I can say, the Tuesday's topic. Could anyone help me with what was Tuesday's topic that was discussed for you? Sorry for that. Guys, if you're not at all remembering the Tuesday's topic itself, like I wonder how would you remember the topics that have been covered for you? Like like after like 2 months ago or like 3 months ago, you've been continuously be guided like or like we are I think more like we have covered more than like 80 topics till date. What are the topics that you have learned? Anyone like shall I mention some of those so that at least you can remember like assertive communication, greeting etiquette, email and telephonic etiquette, and writing reports, proposals, and like all those things are like what I can say is like focusing, concentration, and creating reports and proposal, memorizing, mind mapping. Like you have learned like I can say like literally like around just around like more than 70 topics you have learned over a period of time. I can assure you that from my end. Like at least out of that, anyone had implemented anything like from the at least from, like self assessment. You learned right self assessment over a period of time. Have you implemented that into your like at least thought of that? At least given some time for self assessing yourself after that session has been done for all of you. Just a minute, guys. Please let me know. Like the voice is clear, right? Like at least anyone could help me with like any other topics. Okay, I will give another hint. Like definitely would have got the links right, like to attend the session. In that particular, I would have mentioned the topics or like any other trainer would have mentioned the name of the particular topic that is going to be discussed over a period of time. You can just have a look at those links and let me know like what are the things that you have learned. I would be really be glad if you could do that. If anyone could do that. In the meanwhile, and think of the definition for optimistic or like being optimism. What is like creating optimism? What does it mean? uh, anyone guys like we have spent already like guys 7 to 8 minutes on this particular thing. Like it would be really helpful if like at least like just go and look back to the links that you have got so that you'll get an idea. Like self-assessment is the one thing that obviously you could have looked in, right? All of you, like at least given like before, like having a sound sleep, you could have thought that okay, I done these things over a period of time. Like how as an individual did I like made sure that I utilize the time in a very effective way. And like coordination is a one other topic that you have learned. Like performance management, very important for all of you, right? Goal setting, like work-life balance, and innovation. Like initiation, you could have given an example as well for this particular. What I can say, if you have taken up as initiation, you could have mentioned initiation. Like what was the example that you could have given? Like who have joined this particular session? Could have what might be the like best way to give an example for initiation for like who have joined this particular session? Like anyone could help me with that example. And like coming back to being optimistic or like being optimism is nothing but having a positive attitude about the things that will be like really be hopeful or like being really confident that the future would be going really good. That is what it refers as being optimistic or like being optimism or like creating optimism. That is what it refers. Okay. And coming back to like initiation, like I want like at least a, what I can say an example from any of you so that it will be very convenient for me to continue with the session. Like you could have given an example, guys, that like I have joined this particular session, like it was scheduled for all of you, right? Like around 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Like some of you have taken an initiation from your end or a small, what I can say, step from your end that I need to join this particular session so that I can learn a new thing. At least you have the mindset to take up that initiation, and most of your friends have not joined this particular session. They are not having that initiation attitude. That is what you can say. You could have given this as an example, the very best example, right? For taking some initiations. And coming to the more precise definition of like optimism, a general disposition to accept the best in all things. Like what does it mean? Like accept the best out of all the things that we do. What it might be to accept the best, like out of the things that what we are capable. Like let us assume that like all of us, what I can say, will be really worried. Like like you might not be like doing self assessment or like not. We might not take up like we'll be not so interested about that, but it will be definitely each and every individual. If you are an individual, if I am an individual, I would definitely worry that what might happen. Like if I was in my academic, I would definitely worry like, oh, okay, I will be completing my graduation in the next coming 2 years. What I would do after that? Like what is the best thing that I can do for myself? Like I would have thought of that, but I would have also in mind that what are the things that I do? Like if I face some examination, if I had scored like 80%, like I know that what is my capabilities, what are my capabilities. If my maximum like threshold is like around 90%, like that is the max that I can get, even though I give my heart and soul. Like I can achieve like 90%. Let us assume. Like I will take an example of mine itself. Like, okay, I will assume that like my maximum efficiency is like getting 90% as an individual. Okay, if I get really like very close to like at least 80, I would have feel that I've done the best work in my entire life because I know what are my capabilities. I'm really hopeful that okay, if I get like out of, I'm not capable of getting out 100% or like what I can say 95 or 98, but if I'm getting like 80%, I will like really be glad. Oh, just I would be really be glad. That is what it refers. Like we need to, I as an individual, should I need to look into the best that I can do in all the things. If I was capable of getting like 100%, I know that my inner soul said that I could have got 100%. But I like there were no efforts from my end to make it 100%. Or like what I can say, at least I did not even think of that, and I did not give my heart and soul, and I got just like only like 70%. Is that the best way? Like is that is not the best way to be optimistic or being optimism. Like optimistic have a positive outlook on life, believing that the things will work out in the end. Like having a positive feeling or a positive vibe, do you think like is very much required? If you are an individual, if I was an individual, like I'm an individual, okay? Like do you think like having a positive like attitude or having a positive vibes is really required to being that is an other like step of being like optimism or like being optimistic? Do you think that is really really required? or really essential? Like having a positive vibes or a positive thinking, is it so required? Like yes or no, at least I want a response for this. This is like it's not at all a complicated question. I'm not asking you to like an aptitude question as well. Like I'm not asking you to convert like if a person is traveling like 5 kilometers like opposite a train traveling which is at 100 kilometers per hour. What is the like difference in their speeds? Like is it such a complicated question that what I am asking? No, right? Obviously it's an easier one, but I want a response from you. At least an yes or no. Like wait for 30 seconds. Do you think like having a positive vibe in your surroundings or is really important or no? Like like if you are an individual, if you are like considering taking an example of your life itself, do you think like having a positive attitude is really required or really essential? Is that such a difficult task? Like if do you think okay, just a minute. Like if you are like set a goal, let us assume that some of you might set a goal. Like let's take an example of your academic career itself. Like obviously want to like perform. That will be like at least passing is will be our goal, right? At least when you take it a very smaller version. Okay, positive is like sorry, like passing. That is the one goal that will be all of us would have set, right? And do you think like we will have a negative thought that okay we might not pass or we might not pass? Do you think like we'll have the attitude or like we'll feel that okay somehow I want to study and I want to get the bare minimum pass? That should be your attitude, right? You'll be having a positive attitude that even I have seen like some of my what I can say friends who are really having a very what I can say a positive attitude like the next level. Though they have, might have not studied anything, they would have the self confidence that somehow I would pass. That should be the attitude. If you have not at all prepared to even 1 or 2 marks, you should be like not like don't do that, guys. Just give an example. How should be your thought process or like what I can say? How should be your thinking? How should be your mindset? And don't say that, okay, in a session, Sarah told that, okay, if you're not prepared for even 1 or 2 marks, you should be really self confident. Then we can pause. It's not like that. Like sometimes, what I say is like how you should need to look at the things. Okay, that is what it refers. Being positive, like being optimistic. That is what it refers. Any doubts? Clear topics as well, no issues. Like if you have not got anything from the previous sessions, if you had doubts after like completion of that particular session, please let me know. We will discuss on that as well. However, we got to know like how, why it is really. If I am an individual, if I am like thought of like clearing FCAT or like some gate exams or like any RRB or railway NTPCL exams or like any civil service related exam, I should have an attitude that I would be clearing it over a period of time as an individual. Yes or no? That is how the positive attitude gives us, like, it will boost our self confidence as well. In turn, we as an individual would perform really well. like when self confidence is really high. That is why being optimistic or being optimism is really damn important. Okay, anyone can give me an example like that you were being really be optimistic, or like what you can say optimism. You were really be optimized, and how that helped you over a period of time. Like for any, you would have definitely have at least one instance, right? Any instances that you can give, like how positive thinking helped you out, like over a period of time. Like any, like we could have mentioned like any one example, right? Like what will be the advantage of being optimistic is like if you are like really hopeful that the things would go really well, it will give you a like what you can say positive vibes, and you will be the one who will be like really be having a self confidence on yourself, and you as an individual would definitely have a boost, or what you can say, uh you never know the power of self confidence or like being positive. Like it impacts you, like it gives a best result only when you like you as an individual would like experience that. When you experience that, you will come to know the power of like optimism or like being optimistic or like having a positive vibe or a positive feeling. That in turn makes the stress levels really low, because when you're having a negative thought or a negative feeling that I might perform really low over a period of time, I might not like achieve that, I might be like not able to like what I can say deliver the best to them, or like if you feel like if you're feeling really low on yourself, if you're feeling really self or like underconfident, like at that part of time you would obviously perform low, right? Or what I can say, not up to the mark. Yes or no? Like if you are an individual, if you are like having a really like if you're underconfident on yourself, like how would you feel like if you are like doing something? Guys, it's such a difficult task to answer. Like obviously you would perform low, right? When you're really like not so confident on the things. Okay, but when you are like really confident or you're like really what I can say, like oozing with energy, you would like perform really well, though you are not drawing that. That is why being optimistic or it's really important. And like a common example used to illustrate optimism is this question: give a glass that has been filled halfway. Is it half filled or half empty? Like what might be your answer for that particular question? If someone asks you this, what might be your answer? Like if you are like, do you think like it is half filled or it is half empty? What might be your answer for this particular question? Let's see who comes up with an answer for this particular question. A very tricky one. Like it shows your way of thinking. Like how do you have the thought process of thinking? Like I will judge whether you are having a positive attitude or a negative one. If you answer like, do you think like it is half filled or it is half empty? Anyone? I'll wait for 1 minute for this particular question. Like it is like what I can say. It shows how like what is the way that you think. This might be like what I can say. Might be a question in any of like the like not for your placement race and all, like for any of the like interview rounds of what I can say, for any of the civil service exam or something like that. It will be definite question for like not for all of you. It might be, never know. But they will be just checking like how you think. That's the only, like that will be the only. Like if you answer well and good, if you're not answering, they'll come up with some new questions. They'll give still more chance. Okay. Hoping for a response from anyone, at least would give a try. I would, though the answer might be wrong. But might, what I can say. Like you can take another example for initiation. Like at least like you could have tried to this particular question. Like that is what you can also call as initiation, right? You could have taken a small step forward to answer this particular question. That shows your attitude of like I should learn new things. I should over a period of time perform better. And you're looking for self-assessment as well. Like if you're answering a particular question, you would get a review from me that whether it is right or wrong. You've taken up an initiation as well, and you've taken up a self-assessment as well by answering a single question. I think you should be really be answering this particular question, like all of you. Anyone could help me out? Cash, is it like think and answer? Like whether you think like it is half filled or it's half empty. What might be your answer? I know that it is a very what you can say like hypothetical question, but like the hypothetical questions are asked like to understand the way that you like analyze that particular situation and come up with an answer. Like both the answers might be right, but it just shows like for this particular question shows the way that you think. I think like whoever like okay, I will do one thing. Like whoever thinks that it is empty. What I can say, like, you are thinking in other perspective that like emptiness shows that you're not at all like having a what I can say, not like that. What I can say, not saying that you are not so confident about you, but it shows that you are like real less confident on yourself because you are like looking into the more of the negative thought or having a negative vibes over yourself because emptiness and all those things. If you're choosing that as an answer, I think you have to like make yourself more like comfortable to the positive what I can say some of the motivational speeches like try to be like dealing with others, try to gain some news, learn some new things because it shows that you are having a surge towards the negative things more. Like you will be getting easily attracted to negative easier fashion. That is what I can say. And if the thought to answer is like it is half, it's that you're only concentrating on the things like which is like really important. Like you're like specifying like clearly that okay, you're working on what is available for me. You're thinking in a positive way, right? Those are two like it is half filled. Very good. Like it shows that you are having a what I can say a positive vibe that like looking at the positive things rather than like looking to the like an empty things or something like having a negative feeling. And what are the benefits? Just a minute, I will paste the attendance form so that we can fill that. In the meanwhile, we'll come back the same slide. Please fill the form. Very much required. Please fill both the forms and please check, and please try to I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes of time so that you can check whether it is taking the responses and all. Till then, I will come back to the same slide. Any doubts regarding the concept? Any doubt, guys? And please let me know if you're if you're not got anything. Also, please type in the chat box, or if you're not understood anything from the past concepts, please let me know. Like, I want you to be crystal clear about the things that how you need to implement, because these are certain set of skills which will help you to lead your career in a very or to lead your entire life in a very effective way. Okay, we'll continue with that. Please fill both the forms. And coming back to the benefit, that what will be getting if you are having that optimistic idea and all those things. Benefits like good health and motivation. Like, do you think like we'll be having a really good health? Like, if you're like having a positive thinking or having a positive thought, you think that's practically possible? Like having a good health, how it depends. Okay, we will look into the points and then we'll look in we'll look into the explanation in the later part. Like on after like completing all the points. And lack of fear, high self-esteem, feeling of everything is going well. That is really important for each and everyone. People like to be with you. Okay, if you are like being optimistic, do you think like it is like how can we have good health? Like if I am an individual, if I'm having a positive positive thinking or a positive thought for whatever the things I do over a period of time, if I'm having that positive attitude, like let us take up an example. I had a positive attitude that I want to get placed in the placement drives. I had that feeling, like I cleared some of the drives. Okay, I got into some of the organizations as well, and in turn, there was literally no stress on me because I was continuously dedicating my time, and I had a really positive attitude that I have gained some skills which I can bank on. And based on that set of skills, I would definitely be placed over a period of time. Like when I'm having literally no stresses, obviously my health will be like really good, right? But when everything is not going fine and everything is not going like according to our plan, what might happen? Like our health will be, or physical as well as the mental health will be definitely be disturbed. Yes or no? Like if you think like you're like achieving like good marks in your academic career, it will be the main thing for all of you right now. Like the placement drives, you'll be still like some of you would be in your like what I can say pre-final year, some of you would be in your like second year. Like you would have some time, but at least for now, your main motto will be like achieving the best marks or like that what you deserve. Like if you're not having, if you're not achieving that, like everything would be not fine. Your parents or like your well wishers, your faculties will be like telling you that you need to perform well, and you will be like really tensed. When you're tensed, you are like what I can say. Your physical and mental health will be disturbed over a period of time. Yes or no? And lack of fear. Like we were not at all having like what I can say a fear for anything because we are doing the right things in the right order, the right time. We are prioritizing time. We are taking up initiations. We are having the positive thinking. We are having a self confidence on ourselves. It means that is there anything that we can like that is like what you can say that we cannot achieve over a period of time. Yes, we can achieve everything, but we as an individual should have the patience. Yes or no? To achieve that. And high self esteem. What does it mean? High self esteem. What it might be like if I'm an individual, if I'm having a really if I'm really be optimistic, what I will say is like I would be like I would be a person who would be like what I can say is like would be like really what I can say I would be really confident on myself over a period of time. What other things, what do you mean by high self-esteem? Like I will be having a really like I would be really be having a really good self-respect for myself, and I can find a peaceful life, and I would love to do all the things. Yeah, I will be having attitude that I will do it, I can do it, and I did it. This will be your attitude if you're having a self-esteem and feeling of everything is going well. This is really like obvious that when you're like really be having a positive attitude, you will get the strong feeling that everything is going in a really very good fashion. That is what we can say. And people like to be with you. Like most of us like would like to spend time with the positive people, right? Like not like positive people means like corona positive or like it's not like that, guys. I'm who are having a positive thinking, who are having a positive vibes, who give us a motivation, who give us a what I can say, like who guide us. Would be like to like who will be like when you look when you like when some of you are like faculties motivates you, like you'll be feeling really full of energy, right? When they say about an inspiration or story or something like that, how you need to make your career, how they like how you need to plan, you'll be like really be interested and you'll be like full of energy on the particular day. You'll be like to have those type of sessions for a longer period. Yes or no? And smile. Your smile helps your brain to think positively. Like having a very good smile or like have like the smile helps us like it makes the people around us like to feel like what I can say better as well. They will also have that mindset that what I can say. They'd also perform really. They would also like try to engage. If you are having if you're greeting someone with a smile, what might be the positive effects of that? Come on, guys. This is one thing that I am expecting an answer from at least some of you. Like your smile helps you to like when you're greeting someone with a smile, it reciprocates the energy, right? Like the others will be like will what I can say, would feel like would what I can say, would forget their like what I can say sorrows or what hardships, or like they will try to like engage themselves more to the work that was given to them on the particular time. Yes or no? A smile has a power to like forget our sorrows, like at least for some time span. Like see, when you're spending some time with a person like who is having a really positive vibe, or like who makes us like feel happy, you'll be forgetting all the stresses in our life. We'll be like really be happy spending, and we'd want to spend more time with him or her. Yes or no? That is why a smile is really required, and it makes our brain to function more effectively. And there are two ways of life. One is like being optimistic, and opposite to that is the pessimism. Optimism and pessimism. Oh, sorry, the pessimism. Oh, sorry, really sorry for that. Like, what it might be pessimism? What do you think? Like I have said, it is practically opposite. Like, what it might be? Like I've said, like optimism is nothing like by having a positive feeling, having a attitude, that having a self confidence that I would achieve each and everything. If a ray of like single opportunity comes, I would capitalize on that. It dedicates or it means that. What do you mean by pessimism? What it might be? Like to see like having a negative thought, or like what you can say, thinking solely against each and everything. Like if you're going to face an exam and you're prepared for like 80% of the syllabus, you're thinking that okay, this year like if they concentrate more on the 20% which I have left, like having that thought of attitude, like thinking that everything might go against me, like that is what it refers as pessimism. Like being optimism, like tendency to look on the word more favorable side of events or conditions, and to accept the most favorable outcome. Like you'll be like an individual like who will be like expecting the positive things even out of the bad. Like if you're optimistic mindset, or if you're having that optimism, like see, sometimes you would have thought that I need to get around like what I can say 80% or something, some score in particular examination, and if you get like 60%, let us assume like obviously like all of us would be thinking that we would get like around 80%, but the end result would be really what I can say, I think whatever, like we would have not like that. The way of thinking or with the thought process that you think, like if you are a person who is like who wants to like perform really well, you will definitely look into things that where you had clearly gone wrong. You would look into things that where I need to rectify myself. You will look into the assessment paper, you will take the feedback from, or like you as an individual self assess yourself. That is the way of being optimistic. It is a way of like what I can say, a positive thinking, that if I could have rectified these particular mistakes, I could have performed really well. That is what that is will be the tendency of any person. I believe that good ultimately predominates over evil. I believe goodness prevails in reality, and the doctrine that the existing word is the best of all the possible words. And like I would asked earlier a question, right? Like if an bowl is filled with like what can I say, if you are like really more what I can say, if you're really having an other extent of being positive, or like just having that positive thinking, like if someone asks you a question like what can I say, uh think of a glass or an empty glass, and that glass is filled with half of water and the rest is like half empty, like without water. What would be your answer if you're like really, what would be answer if it is a glass is empty or glass is like half filled? What would be your answer if you're really like positive to the next level? Sir, if you're like really be like what I can say, full of positive feelings, or like what I can say, you are like really thinking on the positive side. How would you feel if you are an individual? Like you would some more like the best answer that you could have given is like the glass is completely full, while 50% is like filled with the water and 50% of the air. Okay, that might be your answer. And the pessimism, the tendency to see, anticipate, or emphasize only the bad or undesirable outcomes would be there definitely for me all the time. That is what it refers as pessimism. A doctrine that the existing world is the worst of all possible worlds, or that all the things naturally tend to evil. The belief that the evil and the pain in the world are not compensated for by goodness and happiness. Like thinking each and every perspective in a very unusual manner, like in a very what I can say negative manner. That is what it refers as pessimism. Like I have seen some of them. Like even if something happens, like what I can say, like that is not at all related to them. That is not at all. They would feel like really bad on themselves. I don't know why is it. They'll be having a negative thought that we might not achieve anything. Like I'm really like they'll be making themselves underconfident. Like what I can say is like even if iron cannot be destroyed by even by like it can be like yeah what I can say is like it can be destroyed only by melting, but the own rust of it can destroy iron over a period of time. Yes or no? In the same way, if you are an individual, the only thing that you can destroy yourself is like your thought process or your thinking process. You are like if you're having a negative thought that I might not achieve anything over a period of time, I'm not capable of doing things, it is like a rush to an iron, rush to yourself. You as an individual would like what I can say, you would feel feeling really bad, or you would destroy your own career from your own hands if you're having the attitude. Okay. An optimistic question, pessimist, or like pessimism. An optimist is a person with a positive outlook on life, like and a person who like habitually sees or anticipates the worst, or is disposed to be gloomily. That is what it refers. Like he's having like he's anticipating his failure or he's accepting his failure over a period of like before start of anything. Like if you're thinking of a war, like here a person is like really be like is really be optimistic, or like he is like really be optimist, and he's saying that I will have a war on you. And the pessimistic person or the pessimism or the person who is having the attitude of pessimism, he's saying that yes, probably you might defeat me. Like this is the thing, like admitting our failure without just giving a try. That is what it refers as optimistic and pessimism. Any doubts? Like an optimistic will find an opportunity in every difficult situation of his or her life. I don't try to like figure out, or like he would have some skills. He would have like because of the positive thinking, he would like at least have that thinking ability, and you would think over that and become a better person over a period of time. And pessimist will see only the difficulties. Like they will only look into the difficult things that will be arising to them over a period of time. That is what it refers. And explain your failure with optimism. Like an optimist looks at the problem and try to find out the reasons or the valid reasons where I went wrong. Pessimist always makes the problem internal, global, and permanent for himself. Sometimes I've seen like those who look into their failures and like even point out the positives out of that, and like they'll say that okay, I might have like failed today, but have like found out a new way that that way is not working out for me. But I will surely like work on that, and I found out a way that would work for me over a period of time. They would have that, like they are not like, ready, like they will be expecting that they will know that they had like what I can say, they had not reached their goal, but they would say that I have found out a new way of doing anything. It's not like that I failed. That will be their attitude. I've seen some of them like saying the same words, or like I found out a new way to deal with that. But being optimistic is really what you can say. If you're that, if you're like have that attitude, if you have that skill, you would probably become, you would have the best, what I can say, best life, or like you can enjoy your life in the coming time span. A pessimist will always makes, like if everything is going fine also will try to like find out the faults and figure out okay this is good, this is everything I did do really well, and I might like not be a successful person over a period of time. His attitude will be like that. So make sure if you are an individual, work on the positive set of skills, work on your, what I can say, though you might have failed, look at the positive that what you had given, or the things that what you what from your end you had given the best. Learn to shift your focus. When you have a problem, try to look at like having that looking at a different point of view, and like what I can say. Let's take an example here. Like what is the best example? Like we would assume that all of you are like traveling to some place. Like that is not like now because of pandemic it's not possible. Assume that you are traveling to some random place. You're like this is the first time that you are going. Let us take some like tourist spot itself. And you are like like when you get like you will be thinking that with the help of the Google Maps or something like that we would reach the particular destination. And over a period of time, because of the network, like obviously like when you're traveling inside or like outstretch of the city, like your connectivity might not be there, and the Google Maps might or like not work, or the internet might not work, or the 4G services might not be available. It is a problem, but how will you deal with that particular problem? Would you feel like okay, if you're a pessimist person, you feel like okay, oh my god, like what the hell I would do? But you should try to somehow sort that. You will do like you will be having a positive attitude, right? I'll somehow reach a particular place by asking someone, by looking into the directions or like the reference boards that were there. Yes or no? You would look into that. That should be like you should be having a different, like you should think how to solve that particular situation. How I need to like get into the particular situation and solve that. And not to shift your focus as well. Like literally at the end of the session, guys, like trying to like shift our focus when like if you feel like that, we have to more like deal with that in an effective way. That's the best thing that what I can say. Like try to, if you're like thinking that the goal that has been set by me is being not being achieved, like after like even giving your heart and soul, try to like look for the other things. That is the one thing that I can say from my end. Okay. Any doubts regarding the topic that has been covered and the what I can say, the things that have been explained? Been listening for the past 1 hour. We'll wind up this particular session. Any doubt, please let me know. I'll be available for the next what I say, next 1 or 2 minutes. And thank you for the patient listening. Thanks for the session. Thank you for the session. We'll wind up this particular session.